Welcome to True Crime with Strategic Eyes.
Strategic back again. What's going on, guys? Hope you guys are having a great day today. Let me see if my audio is good. Let me know if the audio is good with you guys. My apologies. Remember, we've been having some audio issues for the last few days. Another thing is I do have this fan on over here, and if the fan is too loud, let me know, okay? Before we get started, we really get deep into this because we got a lot to discuss today. Make sure, let me know if you can hear this fan that's blowing on me. And one of the reasons why I have the fan is because it's very hot down here. I'm in the process of installing mini splits myself. I'm doing the work myself. Very difficult work, but I'm getting it done. Somebody says slightly low, can't hear fan. Great. So let me go ahead and push this up just a little bit. Okay. Perfect. But anyway, so I have to go to work. This is going to be the outfit I'm going to be wearing to work today. And the last thing I want to do is leave this studio sweating bricks in the suit that I'm going to be wearing for like the next 16 hours. Because once I get there, there's no leaving. So I'm going to probably end up doing overtime. So I'll be there all goddamn day and all goddamn night. So I'm trying to stay cool and presentable because my appearance is very important to me when I'm at work, right? This is what people who are in crisis get to see. This is the first thing they see after dealing with, wow, just the most horrible situations. And the last thing I want them to see is somebody who is not professional looking, not looking nice and crispy, with the appearance that they're ready to and willing to work hard to get that person justice. So it looks like people are saying the sound is good. Just keep commenting about the sound. There's a delay between when I speak and when you guys get the information and you can respond back. So I'm still looking for those audio okays. Got a few people saying it's okay, but I want a whole lot more. All right. So yeah, Ian says looking and sounding good. I appreciate you. Strategiceyes member Sash Snatch says sound is good. Perfect. Great. So this expensive mic actually works because I got a big fan blowing on me. I think I might actually put it a little bit lower because it's really loud and it's blowing a lot of air and you guys can't hear it. So you know, we're great. And U.S. Patriot Lady says 5x5. U.S. Patriot Lady's been with the channel for a very long time, and we do appreciate all the love that you give the channel. U.S. Patriot Lady, Panda Place as well, supporting the channel. We appreciate you. The sound is good. Okay, so we have a big show for you guys today. The Strategic Eyes research crew has delivered yet again. Big shout out to the Strategic Eyes research crew. You guys are amazing. I mean, so dedicated to the channel, putting in that hard work. I actually have to take this call. Give me 1 second. This is the job. I'm just going to mute you guys real quick. Give me one. Sorry about that. It's one of my colleagues. I thought it was important. And then they said, the boss wants to know where you got that sandwich you ate the other day. I said, real quick. I'm a little busy. They're like, okay, real quick. The boss wants to know where you got the sandwich from. Okay. Well, you know what? I love you, boss. Actually, my boss is a very, very, very good boss. And I'm not just saying that to toot their horns or anything, but my supervisors, all the way from the lieutenant all the way down, amazing people, and I enjoy working with them, and we do good work together. I do appreciate them, but sorry, can't tell you where I got the sandwich from because I don't remember. But anyway, back to work, guys. So anyway, like I said, we have a really good show for you guys, and big shout out to the Strategic Eyes research crew. We're about to jump into this because I can't stay too long. I'm going to give you a full show, but I can't stay for 2 hours. It's going to be a little bit over an hour, if a little bit less, if we could cram everything in. And I'm going to try my best not to make this a two-part show. All right. You guys came here for the information. You're going to get it in this show. All right. But we do have to get started so we can get through this so I can start getting on the road and go handle business. All right. But I got to give a big shout out to my research crew because my research crew is freaking amazing. All right. And not only do they get us original stuff. They're foiling, they're digging in these county records and these court records, and they're giving us stuff that other people haven't gotten. Because don't believe for 1 second that all information has been released. And these major YouTubers who are amazing, like Plunder and The Docket and Grizzly True Crime and all these folks who I look up to and I subscribe to and I enjoy their channels, but don't think that they have all the information. They don't. They don't have all the records. All right. Sometimes you may not know what record you should be looking for. And so I really appreciate the Strategiceyes research crew who's filling in those gaps. Another thing is that as good as, true crime YouTubers are, where they're getting these documents, they're not always seeing the value in every document. And that's not anybody's fault. There's a lot of information to actually get through. So it is what it is. But there are some documents that I'm noticing have not been covered before. And I think that's where my expertise actually fills in those blanks. And I think that's why you're here. And I'm not tooting my own horn. It's just, hey, this is what I do for a living, right? So we're finding information that other people may have had or have had access to, but did not find the value in it. But when you're dealing with the courts every day, and you're involved in the criminal justice system, you're going to find those documents. You're going to say, oh, nobody talked about that document. That document is so important. And that's where we are right now, okay? Now, I have not seen any other channel with these documents, or the main document, rather. I'm going to show you a lot of documents. You may have seen some of them before, but the main document, I haven't seen anybody with that document. And that document is going to tell us the story. It's going to answer the question, was this premeditated? And this final document I'm going to show you guys, trigger warning, is going to be unredacted. It's going to have Maddie's name in it. And I have not seen anybody with this original document that does not have Maddie's name in it. And I got to say, once again, all of our documents are properly sourced. We are not getting anything under the table, doing anything illegal, nothing like that. It's properly sourced, but I haven't seen anybody with this document before. So I guess there's only thing left to do is just to get into this. So let me set this up, guys. And get this going. I just got to fix it real quick. Please bear with me, guys. I'm going to fix it so you guys can get a proper view. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. Okay. So we're here because we're trying to figure out if this was premeditated. Did Stephen Stearns drive all the way from his parents' home to Maddie's home because he wanted to see his girlfriend, Jensoto, or because he wanted to abuse Maddie? Did he want to move back into the home so he could have access to Maddie again? Or did he specifically come that night to kill Maddie? That's the question we're here for. When you look at the court documents, very quickly, you realize that that question has been answered already. We're going to fly through this real quick, and I want to read some of these documents for you. And then when that document comes up, we're going to discuss it because it's in no particular order. I tried to get it in a certain order, but it's not there. So we're going to get it when we get to it, okay? So this is a notice of invocation of the constitutional rights. And this is basically some of his jail documents where he's given permission to speak to a jail psychologist, etc. This is an application for criminal indigent status. This is the document here where he's saying that he cannot afford an attorney. He'd like an attorney to be supplied to him by the courts at no cost to him. And this right here, you see our Strategiceyes research crew logo. It's going to be on all the documents that the research crew has sourced. And this is more of his court and jail records. So his next hearing, his status hearing, is going to be on 10/14/2024. It's been scheduled for jury trial on 7/16/2024. His arraignment was on 4/29. Let's keep going. a protective order to provide confidential and or exempt public records, laboratory DNA file, bench notes, analytical electronic data. So it looks like they're going to be restricting some of that stuff. Then we have discovery notifications, etc. Let's keep going. And this is the notice of intent to seek the death penalty. It's interesting how they use this font. But let's keep going. I want to read up on it. The state of Florida hereby notices the defendant and the court that based upon the information available in this time to the facts of the offense and defense prior record, sufficient aggravating circumstances do exist to justify the imposition of the death penalty as to this defendant in this case. Therefore, the state will be requesting the imposition of the death penalty should be the defendant be convicted in this case pursuant to Florida statute 782-041B. The state intends to prove and has reason to believe it can prove beyond a reasonable doubt the following aggravating circumstances. The defendant was previously convicted of another capital felony or of a felony involving the use of threat of violence to the person. And the capital felony was committed while the defendant was engaged in the commission of an attempt to aggravate child abuse. And the capital felony was especially heinous and atrocious according to that statute. Now I want to bring back to me because I want to bring up for you guys the definition of premeditated murder according to the Florida statute. And then I'm going to find that document and we're going to dive right into it. I don't want to fish through. I have 40 pieces of court documents I want to show you guys. I don't want to fish through all of that. I'm not one of those YouTubers that like to keep you at suspense. I just don't think it's cool. It's not my style. So I want to get to you guys the definition of Florida's premeditated first-degree murder, and then we're going to go straight to the document that we're talking about that's going to bring you guys up to speed on why I believe that this is premeditated. I'm sorry I'm switching the show around, but I go by how I feel about the show, and it's not feeling right. I don't feel like I should hold this information and go through all these documents that some of you guys may have seen already when there's a document that you guys are here to see, all right? So I want to do that. Before I do that, though, we do have a few members I want to acknowledge, and I have to because these people are the life's blood of the show. So we got new Strategic Eyes members with Norman Bates. We got Monica, who's a new Strategic Eyes member. Then we have Elfie Z, who's a new Strategic Eyes member. Thank you so much. And Aki has gifted 5 Strategic Eyes memberships in the chat. We do appreciate you. The lucky winners of those totally random memberships are Mala Bagargava, Melissa Dobbins, Platinum Lemur, Phil DeBertaut, and Rosemary. Thank you guys and welcome to the Strategic Eyes Show. Enjoy your memberships. Okay, let me pull this out. Let me get this document here. Let me get that to you guys. Bear with me. Bear with me. We're going to get it. Here we go. Perfect. So we're going to bring this one in real quick. Bam. So this is from Florida's government website, the legislature. This is important. The first 2 provisions, okay? Murder. 1A, the unlawful killing of a human being. And then 1, subsection 1, when perpetrated from a premeditated design to effect the death of the person killed or any human being. Every other subsection is like an and or. It could be those things, or it could be in addition to those things, or it could be that thing alone. That's how it works when you read these laws on these websites. So what is this saying? Let me get my trusty dandy pen out so we can mark this bad boy up. My apologies. Looks like we got disconnected real quick. I'll fix it up. No worries. I'll fix that. No worries. Okay. Let's get it back over here. All right. Of course, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. And the pen fell. I don't know where it went. Oh, well, my pen fell. Let me see if I can mark this up using my hand. But basically what that's saying is that he thought about killing her. He planned on killing her. It was his intent to kill her. And I'm about to show you, if this will work, if we can get this back up and running, how the prosecutor came to that conclusion. I hate when we have technical issues in the middle of a live, but unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about it. So we'll bring it back to me, and we'll go ahead and I will post that to you guys another way. Let me go ahead and send the actual document to the desktop, and I'll pull that bad boy up for you guys. And I appreciate your patience, and I'm sorry about that, but sometimes these things are unavoidable. It's literally nothing we can do about it. But the good thing is I have the document here. We got a $2.99 super chat from Cynthia Vargas. Appreciate you immensely for showing that love. Let me go ahead and pull this bad boy up. Just give me a little bit of patience, guys, and we're going to pull it up and you can get the document that you're here for. I'm definitely expediting it now since we've had these technical difficulties. I don't want you guys waiting for much longer. So, yeah, we're going to jump on this right now. Jump on this right now. All right. Let's go here. Perfect. All right. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Let me download this. I've got the document right here. Got the document right here. I'm downloading it. And let me pull it up. Open that up. Put that down. Put that here. Perfect. All right. Let's do it. Move me over in the corner so you guys can see it. Boom. You asked, it's delivered. This is the unredacted first-degree murder capital indictment document. This is a direct indictment for Stephen Stearns. And I just read out to you the definition of murder under statute, Florida statute 782.04, subsection 1, subsection A, subsection 1. And I'm going to read that out to you one more time, and then we're going to read this document that shows you what the prosecutor knows, but we don't know yet, which is that this was premeditated, that it didn't just happen out of a crime of insanity or his demented version of passion or whatever. Once again, murder, 782-04, 1A, the unlawful killing of a human being, and subsection 1, when perpetrated from a premeditated design to effect the death of the person killed or any human being. Now let's read this indictment. In the name and by the authority of the state of Florida, the grand jurors, mind you, the grand jury came back with a true bill, after reviewing evidence and testimony and said this was premeditated. This is a true bill statement from a grand jury. True bill statement from a grand jury. It's not a summary prosecution. And that true bill indictment says the grand jurors of the county of Osceola, duly called, impaneled, and sworn to inquire and true presentment make in and for the body of the county of Osceola upon their oaths do presents that Stephen Michael Stearns on or between the 25th day of February 2024 and the 27th day of February 2024 in said county and state did, in violation of Florida statute 782.04, subsection 1, subsection A, subsection 1, from a premeditated design to effect the death of Madeline Soto, a human being, unlawfully killed Madeline Soto, a true bill. And what does that mean to me, ladies and gentlemen? What does that mean to me, Strategic Eyes? I'll tell you what it means. It means that Stephen Stearns specifically came to that home to kill this little girl. Why? Well, only he knows. I suspect that most of his communication was verbally with this girl. I suspect that he was smarter than to text message her, especially if there's a possibility that jensoto, there's a possibility, ladies and gentlemen. You guys know how I feel about jensoto. You guys know I'm very biased against jensoto. And I publicly make that statement because I don't want anybody to be misconstrued about my feelings about jensoto. But especially if there's a possibility that jensoto did not know the full scope of his interaction with Madeline Soto. So if jensoto was not aware of everything that was happening to Maddie, of course, by Stephen Soto. I keep calling him Stephen Soto. It's like a Freudian slip. Stephen Stearns. Maybe it's because I lump Jen and Stephen together, and I believe that they were somehow in cahoots, either through direct action or inaction, if you know what I mean, ladies and gentlemen. I personally hold her culpable in this child's suffering and demise. So I always say Stephen Soto by accident. You guys know what I mean, but it's because they're connected. Jen and Stephen are connected to me. But if she was not aware of the full scope of the abuse that was happening to Madeline, it would be on, or rather in his best interest, it would behoove him to not leave a trail. And text message is part of that trail, right? Especially if this mother is the type of mother who is not averse to checking her daughter's phone. She said that during her interviews, that she checks the girl's phone. And she's never seen something irregular in the phone. Well, that would mean that the majority of those conversations would happen verbally. It would be verbally that he'd exchange his displeasures with her or whatever, or she would communicate with him that she no longer wanted to be his victim. Please hit that like button, guys. We got a lot of people watching the stream, and I know some people don't like when we remind, as creators, people to hit the like button, but if we don't remind you, then you won't do it. And if you don't do it, then we don't get in the algorithm. So please hit the like button. And a big shout out to Bev Taylor for the $1.99 super chat saying, "You rock. Thanks for all that you're doing here. We appreciate you. Thank you so much." And big shout out to Phil DeBartod, who's also a Strategic Eyes member now, was just gifted a member and then donated a super chat to the channel. So we appreciate you, Phil, for supporting the channel. Thank you so much. But please hit that like button, guys. Way too many people watching the stream in comparison to the amount of people who are showing their appreciation for what we're doing here. And also big shout out to I Am with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. You are appreciated. All right. So if he's not text messaging the child, we'll find that out in the next dump if there were text messages, but if there were text messages, we probably would have heard about it by now, just like we heard about the thousands of CSAM pictures that were found in his Google Drive. It's possible that the interaction he had with Maddie via telephone somehow made him believe that he needed to come and end her life forthwith. And that's what he did. They obviously have evidence that he premeditated this murder. It could be the fact that I'm hearing that he did not travel with enough clothes as though he'd be staying for a while. It looked like there was haste in his travel. He came in the nighttime. He did not meet He did not come in time for her birthday party. Not saying he would have been invited, but if he was the loving, caring stepdad that he purported himself to be, his words, not mine. I'm not calling him the stepdad. That's what he called himself. Wouldn't you come earlier? He didn't drive Maddie from the birthday party. The aunt did. Everybody converged on Jensoto's home. Big shout out to Vicky Guerrera with the $10 super chat. Said, love your show. Appreciate you, Vicky. Thank you for supporting the channel. They all converged on the home at the same time. Mommy got there and said, I don't want to deal with you guys. Go upstairs and sleep with my daughter. You guys decide what sleep means. Maybe to Jen Soto, sleep means go to bed. Obviously, for Stephen Stearns, sleep means abuse. And to the rest of us, well, I think we talked about how we feel about what we feel about Jen Soto's actions on this channel enough to know where we're all coming from. But it seems like his trip was hastily planned, and it did not appear as though he wanted to stick around for a long while. There was no suitcase. There's like 2 or 3 articles of clothing that was found inside of the car. What was his plan? What was his end goal? And did he really think that he would get away with it? And I say he did, because Stephen Stearns is a narcissist and he always thinks he's the smartest man in the room. When we covered his Reddit posts and his social media posts, we clearly see somebody who believes he's smarter, he's wiser, he's more well-versed than anybody else in the room. He thought he was going to get away with it. But the grand jury saw what we have not seen yet. The proof that this was premeditated. The proof that Maddie's end was pre-planned, preconceived, and the desire to execute it came long before her death. Now, I want to take the time to go over the other documents that we had. I want to bring it back to me because I'm going to have to go through the backup plan. I wanted to use the tablet. The tablet allows us to mark up the document, etc. It's really cool. I like it. I have to find that pen because that pen is worth a lot of money. It's amazing how expensive technology is now, but it is what it is, right? So I'll find a pen. It's somewhere around here, but I don't want to stop the show to look for a pen. So we'll have to go to the backup plan. So I'm going to bring the video back to me only. And in the background, I'm just going to download, just going to get some of these exhibits up. So we can do our thing. Big shout out to, oh, I see some things going on in the chat. Let me see. Perfect. Good stuff. Make sure you guys join the membership if you don't mind. The lowest tier is 99 cents. Also, it's time for me to plug. I got to plug some of these things. My moderators let me know, hey, make some plugs. So bear with me. Also, we have a Facebook page. The moderators is going to dump that inside of the chat. We do have Instagram. You can find me on Instagram with you can find the Instagram on just Strategic Eyes. You can find us there. Let me see something real quick. Sorry. Somebody's trying to bring my attention to something. I apologize. Can't see it right now. All right, cool. All right. Let's see if there's anything from me in the chat before I keep going. I just don't like to ignore people. Just Christine says, the Strategic Eyes, Jen had to know what was going on in number 4. She's referring to room number 4, by the way, guys. Or she would have sent them to Maddie's not so private half room in the living space. That's a good point. I don't know. I think so, but we don't have any evidence of it. And I got to tell you, that's why I always say I'm biased against Jen Soto. I'm just not a big fan of her. I think that at the very least, she failed as a mother. She failed to protect her daughter. So you make a good point. I just can't wait for the trial so we can see just how deep this rabbit hole goes. And if they are going to press charges, and I got to tell you guys, we're kind of, it's a long time now, guys. I'm starting to feel like, all right, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I've been in rooms with prosecutors where they've said, where we've had enough to charge a parent or whoever, a guardian, for secondary charges like neglect and stuff like that. And they kind of said, like, you know, I think this person has suffered enough. We think they learned their lesson. We think they suffered enough. We're just going to focus on the main bad guy and just let them be. I'm starting to wonder if this is one of those cases where, because it is a long time now, guys. Like, if they're going to charge Jen Soto, most likely they had already charged her. Most likely they would have already charged her. And some people will say, well, maybe they're just not charging her yet or at all because they want her cooperation. You don't need anybody's cooperation in this type of case. This case is open and shut. It's an easy case. You know, he has all this CSAM on his phone. That's over. That's an open and shut case. And then all the evidence shows that he's the one who killed this little girl. That's an open and shut case. So I'm starting to feel like the prosecution is looking at Jen and they're like, all right, she does have some mental health illnesses. Oh, she's naive. Oh, you know, she's very gullible. And listen, I know my audience is largely women. And the last thing I'd ever want to do is alienate my audience or disrespect my audience in any way. But I'm not saying this from a sexist point of view. I'm saying this from a reality point of view. The reality is the criminal justice system is lighter on women. But then on the flip side, men do commit more heinous crimes. So the criminal justice system doesn't really have a lot of experience dealing with women doing heinous crimes. It happens. Obviously, we cover it all the time on true crime. But when you look at the sheer numbers, sheer volume, men do it 20 times more than women. Not 2 times, not 10 times, not 15 times, 20 times more than women. You know what I'm saying? So I'm starting to get the feeling that they want to take it. They might just be taking a light on her and just be like, she's lost her only daughter. And, you know, maybe it's just not going to be in the interest of justice. It's not going to help anybody if we send Jen Soto to jail for 5 years or, you know, because the ancillary charges, those secondary charges, they're not going to give her 15, 20 years in prison. Those are like 2 to 5 year prison terms, where there's some of them should just get probation on. So they're kind of like, maybe they're thinking like, what's the point? Let's just focus on Stephen Stearns. And I think that that's a mistake, because I think she was a negligent mother and her negligence contributed to her daughter's demise and her daughter's suffering. But it's not for us to determine. It's for the DAs and the county attorneys to determine. And I just feel like it's just too long without getting charges on her. I'm starting to lose hope that they will get charges on her. But let's keep going. We got big shout out to, hold on, somebody just gave me 10 gifted. Panda Places gifted 10 Strategiceyes memberships, man. Thank you so much, Panda Place. Wow, that's pretty generous of you. Let me see here. There we go. I kind of skipped over it by accident. Thank you so much, Panda Place, for your support. And I hope everybody who now has a new membership will enjoy it. And I hope when your trial membership is over, the gift membership is over, you will continue to be a Strategiceyes member. All right, so let me get some more documents up, guys. Back over here. All right. So bear with me. Let me see a time check. All right, we're getting close to it, people. So I got to move strategically. You guys like that, right? I'm Strategiceyes, and I've got to move strategically. That is so corny. All right, let me bring it up. Got a few more documents for you guys. What we'll end up having is I'm going to end up having to actually do a part 2, even though I said I didn't want to. And I apologize for that because there's so much documents. I will not be able to get through them now. But it's okay because I gave you the most important documents now. And if you just want that document dump and you just want those extra documents to just get all the information, we'll get it in a part 2, okay? So I'm telling you right now, we'll do a part 2. I'll organize the documents better so it'll flow better, and we'll just run through it. It won't even be a 2-hour show, maybe a 30-minute show. We'll just run through those documents real quick, and you guys will get all that information because information is important. Let me see one more thing. I'm sorry. All right, perfect. All right. I'm actually working right now. I'm not technically on the clock, but I'm fielding text messages for important stuff. All right, so let's jump into this. So many of you guys have seen this already. This is his arrest warrant. This one's in color though. A lot of times you've been seeing the black and white versions. We do have it in color though. And let's keep going. This is a continuation of the death penalty document. It says for the victim of capital felony was particularly vulnerable due to advanced age or disability, or because the defendant stood in a position of familiar or custodial authority, right? So that's basically their whole thing for why we should get this guy the death penalty. We've already seen this one. We've read this one. This is the unredacted version as well that we've just read. All right, we got that. I want to just check one more thing out. Make sure that I'm giving you guys everything that I can give you right now. And then we'll transition to the end of the show because I have to get to work. All right. You guys are amazing. Just hang in there with me. Hang in there with me. We're going to get through this soon. You guys are the best audience on the planet. And I am so blessed to have you guys as a part of my internet family. And then I want to address before we go, quick housekeeping issue that's starting to come up in my inbox about other creators. And I think we should address that now before we move further. And as the show gets bigger, I want to make sure that we just put that to bed. And it's nothing bad. It's nothing disrespectful. But I just feel like I want to get it off my chest. All right. The rest of the stuff we could leave for another show. We'll leave that stuff for another show. All right. I'm going to bring this in the back of me so you guys can see it. And then let's close this show out. You guys are amazing. We got more members. Yours truly is now a member of Strategiceyes family. Appreciate you. You are amazing. Hope you enjoy the show. I've already started dropping content for different tiers. So for those of you who decide to get a higher tier of membership, you will get exclusive content that lower tiers aren't getting. Everybody will get value. Everybody will get exclusive content. We're big on that for Strategiceyes. The members are amazing and they are extending themselves to help the show survive. But we will get tiers, and we will be doing giveaways on Strategiceyes merchandise for the members. And if we have anything left over, then we'll bring it to everybody else. But members, look out. We're going to be ordering Strategiceyes. Well, actually, we're going to do the giveaway first. We'll choose winners on every tier, and then we'll find out your size, because it's kind of crazy for me to just buy a size and assume it's going to fit the winner. Then after we get your size, we'll order the merchandise, and then we'll ship it to you. It's probably going to take maybe a month and a half or something for you to get your to get your item. That's not our fault. We're gonna do the sweepstakes. You're gonna give us your size, then I'm gonna order it. After I order it, it comes to me. After it comes to me, then I ship it to you. It's gonna take a little while, but you're gonna get it. You're going to get it. And if you win and you give me your information and you decide not to be a member anymore, you decide to not be on the show anymore, block me, whatever, as long as I still have your address, I'm still going to send you your shirt because you want it fair and square. The only way you will not receive your Strategiceyes sweater or shirt, it could be a sweater, it could be a shirt, We're not going to cheap out. We're not just going to get you the cheapest item. I'm just going to get some stuff and give it away. Unless you say, I don't want this item for whatever reason, it's cool. I remember, not to go on a tangent, but when I had my other show, just the Strategic Eyes show, where we talked about everything, I did a sweepstakes and somebody won a shirt. And I did 2 sweepstakes. I did one with a shirt. And somebody won. It was at random. I went online and found this special algorithm that could choose from your subscribers, and it was like completely random. And the person won. And they're like, oh, I'm so happy. Then I'm like, yo, hit me up in the email. And then I hit them up and I'm like, give me your address. What do you want to do? And they're like, okay, I'll give it to you tomorrow. Then tomorrow comes. Then I give me an address. And it's so weird. I'm sorry. I don't want to talk down on people, but some people are really weird. They're different. They don't want to communicate their feelings. And after a week of this person ducking me, I was like, listen, I'm going to give your prize away to somebody else. Why don't you just give me your address so I can send it to you? And they're like, well, to be honest with you, I'm a very private person. And I didn't want to give you my address. I said, well, why didn't you just say that? I said, you're a 40-year-old woman. You should be able to say, hey, I appreciate it, but I don't want to give you my address. And that's the end of it. Okay. I was like, hey, it's okay. And that person ended up being a longtime viewer of the show. And they still view to this day. So I'm sorry that I said weird. I apologize to you, but I say what I mean. I apologize. Still love you. But express how you feel, okay? If you win and you don't want to give your address, you don't have a P.O. box or whatever, just say so and we will give it to somebody else who doesn't mind giving us their address. I don't give my address out. I have a P.O. box for the show. So even I understand that, right? But some people, but I'm not a crazy person. And if you give me your address, I will put it in a computer system and mail it out to you. And then it's gone. I don't keep it. I don't want it. There's nothing about you that I would like to keep your address for. So I just want to get that out the way. The last thing before we close the show out, first of all, big shout out to Miss Melody, who's now a member of Strategic Eyes Show. Animals is a member of the Strategic Eyes Show. And Life's a Beach is a member of Strategic Eyes Show. Thank you so much. I love that name, Life's a Beach. And Animals, that's cool. I like that too. Amazing people. So creative. I've been getting emails, and this is not picking on the last person I had communication with, where I explained to them my stance on this stuff, and they so graciously understood where I was coming from, but they weren't the first person to send me emails about other creators. So when I use another creator's video, that is their creative work. That's their intellectual property. Please hit that like button, people. Hit that like button, support the channel. I see those likes are kind of low, and we got a lot of people watching the stream. It's their intellectual work. That's personal. That comes from their soul, from their spirit. When I speak, there's no teleprompter here. All this technology I have here that helps me do this show, and I got a lot of technology here that I've amassed through the years of doing YouTube to give you guys a good show. It doesn't always work, obviously. We're always having technical issues, but there's a lot of technology. All of that is from their soul. I don't have any teleprompters among my technology. I speak from my soul. I speak from my heart. Sometimes I lose my train of thought. Sometimes I stumble on my words. Why? Because I'm just a human being speaking from my soul. So when I use other people's work, I need to give them their credit. And one way you give people their credit is by A, saying where you got the work from. B, telling people how to go and find that work. C, telling them to watch the work so that they could get views, get compensated for their hard work. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, asking you to like and subscribe to their channels because it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do, guys. So when I tell you to go like and subscribe somebody's channel, I'm leaving it up to you as the intelligent adults you are to determine if you want to go to that person's channel and subscribe and like to it. I'm not endorsing that person. I've only endorsed a few people. Like I like Plunder and I like Grizzly True Crime. And I said that I like JLR Investigates, that they're doing good work. But I really endorse Plunder and Grizzly True Crime more than anybody. And I told people go to GHI and go and check out their work. I wouldn't even say any of that is endorsements. I tell people I subscribe to these people's channels, I watch some of their work, and I appreciate it, and I'm using it. It's up to you to decide if you want to subscribe. So don't hit me up in an email telling me, and I'm not, once again, this is not disrespect to the person who hit me on my email or the other people who have done this. But understand, I'm a very busy person. I'm a very, very busy person. I don't want to get involved in any of this YouTube beef. This is not real, ladies and gentlemen. This is cyberspace. This is virtual reality. This is not real. What's real is when I hit that end button that's right there that I'm pointing at that you can't see, and I go like this, and I fix my tie, and I go out into the real world and do some real work. That's real. When I hang out with my kids, that's real. This is not real. This is a platform to give a voice to the voiceless, the victims. I am not here to care about other content creators and the beefs that exist in their world. I don't want that on my channel. And the moment I start being a polarized figure where I have YouTube beefs, I'm going to shut this down and keep it moving because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I am here to talk about the victims, to give a voice to the voiceless, not engage in YouTube politics. Not engage in YouTube politics. So don't hit me up and say, oh, you may not want to say this guy or say that guy because he did this in the past and she did that in the past and she does this and she talks about her viewers. Ain't got nothing to do with me. Not a Harlem's going to come out of me. The New York City going to come out of me. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That's between them and their audience. That's between you and that creator. When you come on this channel, all we care about is facts. And we're going to talk about theories too, but we're going to try and base our theories off the facts that we have. All we're going to do is demand justice for these victims. All we're going to do is demand that these evildoers who are out here preying on our children and killing our wives and our sisters and our brothers and our sons and our nephews and our friends, that they go to jail and they face the people's justice. That's what we're here for. Why are we talking about what some guy said on his platform when Maddie Soto's in the grave right now, was found in a marsh pretty much? When Jocelyn Nagari was sexually abused and thrown in a goddamn ditch. But you want to talk to me about GHI and JLR and Plunder and Grizzly True Crime and all these people? I don't care. I care about the victims. I'm screaming for a reason because I want the whole world to hear me. Strategic only cares about the kids. That's it. So I want the whole world to understand my position. I'm a grown man and I'm a serious man. And I don't play this cyberspace bullcrap. Don't talk bad to me about these other creators because they're just creators to me. They're just people on the internet doing their videos. This is not the real world. It's not the real world. But it's a vehicle that we could use to do good. You could use this vehicle to play video games and get rich. You could use this vehicle to talk gossip. You could use this vehicle to create things, make movies, make cartoons. You could use this vehicle to help people, like help them build stuff. I'm installing my mini split. I'm in the final phase of doing it. Something that would have cost me maybe $5,000 if I went to a professional. I'm almost finished because a few people decided they wanted to make those videos on how to do it and give it to the world. And because of them, I was able to install this mini split. Well, I'm choosing to use this vehicle to benefit the victims, to bring justice, to give a voice to the voiceless. That's why I'm here. And at the end of the day, regardless of how you feel about these people, I think GHI wants the same thing. I think JLR wants the same thing. I think Plunder wants the same thing. I think Grizzly True Crime wants the same thing. I think Ishmael wants the same thing. I think True Crime With Strategic wants the same thing. I think Guilty of Crime wants the same thing. I think all these people who are on here, on this platform, taking time out of their life to give you this message. I could be chilling right now, relaxing before I go through a whole day. I'm not going to get off of work till 2, 3 in the morning, guys. Think about it. We're at what time Eastern time right now? Eastern time, we're at 1:35 Eastern time, 13:35 Eastern time. I'm not going to get off of work till 2, 3 a.m. 2, 3 a.m. But instead of taking a nap right now or relaxing or, catching up on some TV or, checking the stock market, I dabble in the stock market. I dabble in Bitcoin and all that stuff. I could be looking at that stuff, seeing if I lost money, gained money. I'm here with you because I got a passion for justice. So I'm not just telling you guys this for my own show. I'm telling you this for yourselves as well, for your personal lives. Block out the noise, guys. Don't get sucked into the drama, the water cooler stuff. Focus on the victims. Focus on justice. Focus on what your purpose is for wherever you're at, when you're there. If you're watching this show, what is your purpose for watching this show? I'm not saying anything funny. Well, sometimes I say funny things. But my purpose here, with the zeal and vigor that I'm giving you right now, is to motivate you to want justice, to fire you up for justice, to make you not settle for anything but the death penalty for Stephen Stern. That's why we're here. We're not here for nothing else. That's why we're here. Fire each other up for justice. So keep that in mind. And when you reach out to me, know why you're reaching out to me. And know what I'm interested in. I want to talk about the victims. I want to talk about you. There are people who reach out to me with deeply, profoundly personal stories. I want to hear that. People who have been victims who have now risen above that and gone from being a victim to a survivor. I want to hear your story. I want to hear your story. I want to be a part of that beautiful conclusion. You guys are amazing, man. You guys motivate me. I've said this before. You guys are my therapy. You guys help me decompress from the real world, from the things I got to deal with in the real world. You guys help me decompress. And it just so happens, just by the grace of God, that my decompression, my therapy, is talking about true crime to fellow true crime believers. So I think you guys got where I'm coming from. You guys are amazing. You guys are amazing. You guys are great. So anyway, we got let me scroll up, make sure I get the right amount. $2 super chat from Melly says, "You a real one. Appreciate you, Strategic." And I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Emily Rita, longtime supporter of Strategiceyes Show. I love you, Emily. She says, keep doing what you're doing, Strategic. I appreciate you, man. Rachel W says, Strategic doing the Lord's work. I hope. He uses us all in his own way as our own vessels, as his vessels to do whatever we want. And I hope so. I hope so. I hope to God that I'm doing right by his word and right by these victims, man. I hope to God. And if you don't believe in God, don't get offended. That's your own personal business. We still love you. We still love you. A lot of times people who don't believe, they're like, oh my God, you're talking about God. It offends me. No, you should not be offended. Just like when you say you don't believe, I'm not offended. I believe. It is what it is. Kids Funhouse says, yes, exactly. Justice for these kids. You care about justice, not another person's reputation. Thank you. Absolutely. And lastly, on a reputation, a person can have a bad reputation, and it's unfortunate if they do have a bad reputation, but that's their personal business. That doesn't mean that they can't produce work that is honest and accurate. All right. You could tell 1,000 lies. Doesn't mean that the 1001 statement that you make is not going to be the truth. And that's what we're finding. I'm never going to put on my channel something from a creator that's suspect. I'm not going to do that. I'm only going to put the things that I believe is true and accurate, because I now have to stand by that. Even though it might be another creator on the screen giving this exclusive information that I don't have, that I need them to tell my audience, if they're wrong, I'm going to have to own up for it, because I put them on my channel. So it doesn't matter what the person's reputation is in the past. If they're on my channel for this particular segment that I'm using, that's fair and accurate information. True and accurate, I should say. What they're saying is true and accurate, you know? And I'll give you with this one. A creator did an interview with a young lady. I think it was GHI. I don't need to mince my words. I don't care. I have beef with none of these people, and I never will. I never will. It's impossible. I'll just ignore people who want to have beef with me and block them and move on with my life. I will never have a back and forth with another creator. But I got some good shows out of GHI's information, because he has a lot of exclusive interviews that he's done. And he's a resource. And he also doesn't copyright strike people, which a lot of creators do. They see your show is doing good, they'll copyright strike and take the revenue. It's messed up, but it's also their right, because you're using their stuff. So big shout out that he's not copyright striking people. But there's a lot of people don't like that guy for whatever reason. I don't care. It's not my business, right? Now, he did an interview with a woman that purported herself to be Stephen Stern's ex-girlfriend, which was the 14-year-old girl that he was dating when he was 20. Now, I listened to the whole video. And it was interesting. It would have made for an excellent show if I did it. If I would have did a reaction to his video, I'd have got 30,000 views. But I wasn't convinced that she really was Stephen Stern's ex-girlfriend, because he did a call-in show and this woman just called out of nowhere. I don't know what efforts he went through to actually say that this is the woman. Like, what vetting did she have before she came on? She just came on and says, hey, by the way, I'm the girl. And he ran with it. Now, maybe he did some betting in the background. I don't know. I don't know the size of his team. I don't know who answers the phones before they put him on. I don't have a team that's with me when I do it. My team is digital, long distance. I communicate with my team over the phone and the internet. But I don't have a team that's sitting with me right now who's going to vet a phone call and say, yo, this is absolutely the girl. Put her on the show. So you know what, guys? I never covered that young lady. I never put his interview on my show, because I could not feel comfortable that I could vouch that it actually was Stephen Stern's ex-girlfriend. Once again, I got to own it. Anyway, guys, let's get the hell up out of here. Let me drink some water real quick. Big shout out to everybody who became a member on the channel. We appreciate you. You guys are amazing. Hope you had a good show. Once again, this is the document behind me. This proves that it was premeditated on the part of Stephen Stern's. Make sure that you become a member. If you haven't become a member yet, it's a really good bargain and it's great value for your buck. Please make sure you hit that like button on your way out the door. You guys are amazing. Go to the Strategiceyes shop and get yourself some merch. Today I've been drinking out of the Strategiceyes glass. Really awesome. We're going to have new designs coming out as well, but this one's still for sale. It's my favorite. This is my old logo, which is still a good logo. We still will be using this logo. It's not like it's outdated, but this is the old logo we used to use for the show. Love this logo. I will never get rid of this logo. Consider also joining us on Facebook and our other social media platforms. On that note, I'll see you guys on the next one. Strategic is out of here. Peace.